Are you used to it?
Sorry?
Are you used to it? Kamu udah bisa pakai EXP lane kayak gitu?
Bisa.
He can. So it's not gonna be a problem for you?
Apa tuh?
Akan jadi masalah nggak buat kamu?
Oh, enggak sama sekali.
No, it won't be a problem. What's going to be your problem up against SRG? Apa yang bikin SRG kuat yang mungkin bisa jadi problem untuk Lutfi?
Ya mungkin kalau dia bisa di-share nggak ya? Mungkin kalau mereka perang sih ya mereka lumayan jago lah kalau lagi perang gitu, perang gede gitu.
So he mentions that the team fights may be the problem there later on up against SRG. Do you have a message to SRG before your match? Ada pesan nggak untuk SRG?
Tes.
Good luck bang.
Good luck aja.
Tes.
Untuk fans-fans kamu, banyak loh fans-fans kamu.
Ya dukung kita terus.
Support them always. Thank you so much, Lutfi, for this interview, and good luck for your next match. We're going to throw it over back to you guys.
Well, the conversation and the translation there, thank you, Eterna, for that. It was great to hear from Lutfi talking about EXP, getting a little tankier and having a little bit more responsibility in this assassin meta. But on the flip side of it, they're going up against SRG, the Malaysian 5-time MPL champions, looking to go back into the grand finals yet again. And obviously, when you see this squad, Cram, Sakai, Stormy, Yumes, Innocent, there's one person who's missing. It's Uni. And he won the last game. And actually, Eterna talked with him.
I'm now with Uni, the super sub from SRG. Uni,
Hello.
you caught us by surprise yesterday. Were you surprised as well that you came in last minute?
Yeah, of course I'm surprised as well because I expect to be played yesterday. Yeah, so surprise.
Surprised. How did it feel? Were you suddenly like nervous? Like who came in to call you?
My both coach came to me and then said that I might be player next game, so just be ready. And then I play.
And then I play. And then you played very, very well. Did you enjoy your performance yesterday?
Yeah, of course. I'm enjoying with my performance yesterday because maybe not too good, but yeah, still enough for my team.
Still enough for your team. And since you're here with me, does that mean you're going to be playing again?
Maybe.
Maybe. But if you were to be called in today, are you prepared?
Yeah, of course. I'm always prepared. Yeah.
Always prepared. How do you stay prepared?
I don't know. Being at sub, sometimes you just need to always be ready, because you don't know what will happen on the future, right? So just be ready always.
Is it challenging for you being in that mindset always?
Sometimes, but we cannot choose, right? We don't have a choice. So basically, we just be ready.
We're very proud of you, by the way. Very, very proud.
you.
And let's say you are going to be the starting lineup. You're up against Kyrie. I think a lot of people are talking about Kyrie. Everyone knows Kyrie at this stage. How is that for you? Mentally taxing? Are you okay with that? Is there anything specific that you have prepared up against Kyrie?
If you ask me, I didn't think so much about it. I just play with my team and focus with my team. I didn't care which enemy I facing off. Yeah. All I just go through with my team.
That's amazing. Is that mentality from yourself, or did someone help you bring
Yes,
that mentality out?
from
From yourself?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Thank you so much for this interview. But before I let you go, just in case you are going to be playing, because we don't know yet,
Yeah,
right?
we
We don't know. No one knows. Do you have a message to your opponents? Do you have a message for onic?
My message for Onic, good luck. Yeah, good luck. Just good luck.
Just good luck. May the best team win.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Uni, for this interview. It's been an honor, and we're going to throw it over back to you guys.
All right, well, Felix says, sorry, I'm Felix. He says, good luck, I'm Uni. We'll figure out which one is the better entrance, the better hello. And will Uni even be playing Rinmar? That's the question, but he felt like he was.
Yeah, I have a feeling this might actually be really pressuring on Sakai's even more. Because imagine if ever, SRG loses game number 1 and it's not a good result.
Right.
Are they going to stick with Sakai's in? Are they going to bring Uni in for game 2? And then will that continue on to game 3? There's so many things you have to think about now for SRG, especially in the junglers.
I think what it really boils down to is whether or not Sakai has the confidence to, nail the mechanics. I think a lot of the decision and in-game shot calling will still boil down to Yumes and as well as Cram. So I can't necessarily say, yes, Skies technically was the underperforming one confident Uni has to come in, but there's a lot of outside factors that
Yes.
Uni brings from outside of the game that really alleviates that pressure. But
Yeah.
I'm really looking at the mid lanes here. I think that's going to be the game changers.
82% say that onic is going to take this win, and obviously you can understand that SRG have had a history of maybe playing the people in front of onic in big moments, but this SRG has looked like they finally are susceptible. They were one game away from going out, and then all of a sudden Uni swapped in. If they're in that type of position, Renmar could be tough.
Yeah, we're gonna get Humes and Stormy versus Kiboy and Sans, Kari versus Sakai's, maybe Uni. The matchups are gonna be crazy. We haven't even talked about Killer versus Innocent. We're gonna get that too.
It's going to be amazing, that gold lane. Will it be a fighter that goes in there, or will it be a marksman battle between two gold laners who love to throw down? Well, let's, speaking of throw it over to the stage and get our Series 3 of the day ready to go.
Very much so. Series 3 of the day is finally upon us. We went through the champion breakers. At the end of the day, Entity 7, their run ends here at MSC, but it's pro esports to continue. However, from that on, we move on to the big champions battle. And a reminder, we are still in group stage knockouts, and we're getting games just like our next one.
Ooh, match 3. This one is a rivalry that dates all the way back to a few years ago. This is gonna be the deciding factor if we're gonna have 2 Indonesian representatives or 2 Malaysian representatives in the knockout stages.
I won't say if there's a preference to one side or the other. I just want to see some damn good MLBB. Speaking of which, let's bring out our teams. First up, it's none other than onic! Their fans are worldwide as they are greeted to the stage. MSC 23 champions, semifinalists last year at MSC 25. One of the names most synonymous with MLBB, now walking the razor's edge between qualification and elimination. A narrow loss to Aurora put them in the lower bracket. Their tournament run hinges on beating yet another fan favorite.
Yes, indeed, Milosh. And of course, their opponents, the strongest in Malaysia, the Giants. It is Selangor Red Giants. Starting off as a fan favorite and now entering their do or die
What?
match.
Onic masuk?
The 2024
Onic!
champions able to
Onic!
defy the odds and do what they need to do
Ay,
to
sekat tak
stay
main
in
tu.
the game. Do they have what it takes to head to the knockout stages?
In this assassin meta, there's a lot on the line and a lot to do in the game itself. Speaking of our matchup, I think we should get them started.
A lot of possibilities. One continues their journey and one's ended here today. Boys, you may place your keys and take your seats. And of course, to our captain, you may meet in the middle for a handshake, a fist bump, completely up to you.
Hey!
Oh my goodness. Milosh, this is gonna be one hell of a match. I am ready, so you all better get in your seats, grab your snacks, grab a friend, because it's time to head to the land of dawn.
Grab a friend indeed. You might need a buddy here. You know how they in middle school or even younger, you have to walk in pairs.
I was
hold
usually
hands.
alone.
You didn't have a buddy? Buddy
Yeah.
system? Oh man, I'll be your buddy.
Aw. Too late for that though.
What, am I 30 years too late?
Yeah, 30 years too late, but
It's
hey,
okay.
it's never too late for new
It's-
friends.
Thank you, buddy.
I got you.
Thank you, man.
Thank
Renmar.
What is
Gideon.
happening here?
we had a busy top of show, but guys, I mean, expand a little bit more after we let everyone know my champions pick is available. You can pick your dual champions and win 50,000 diamonds. The event sadly ends on July 27th, so you can go ahead and scan that QR code on your phone or your tablet. Make sure to get involved.
I'm telling you, Rain Day, people have already lost so many predictions at this point, and again, I think 2 regions who are obviously going to lean into their own regional biases into the individual teams. It's going to be an entire part of the world just cut off just like that.
Yeah, in game I lost. I don't know how much amount of guest coins today. I was overly confident looking at the favored odds that we had with our guest coin game within MLBB itself. But hey, here we are. You know what? There's something in my head. These two have a very important choice, and I said it that way, Cho, because it's Yums, it's Kiboy. Kiboy is undefeated with the Cho this MSC so far. He's led to some high-profile wins. One of them against Aurora yesterday, 2 days ago, yesterday. Yesterday, yes.
Yeah, yesterday.
And we know Yums, great Cho player.
And that's the thing. I think that, like, there's so many similarities between these teams that it's really tough to say who's going to come out on top. So winning your lane may not necessarily be just about the draft when you have players of this caliber. We've already have the gold standard in Kelra and Innocent, who, again, have been compared time and time. I just don't know who's going to win the matchup, because the last couple of times we looked at those lanes, I think the current score is 2-2.
It is. It actually is. It makes it even tougher again for the choices in the gold lane. I mean, Rain Day even brought it up earlier. Fighter, marksman, what version are we going to get? Obviously, Freya is going to be contested between these two, but if you overcommit too much on dive, wait a minute, that's Uni. That is Uni.
It looks like they got the super sub here this time around, part of the lineup instead of Sakai's the Sky Prince to take him on. I think maybe this is a show of confidence, and maybe this is one of those like, hey, we need to make sure that every single one of our players are going to do good. If you can alleviate that pressure like we mentioned before, then Cram doesn't have to be so in his head about the shot calls.
The issue here for many people who are happy, elated, surprised, excited to see Uni on the team of SRG is what happens if they lose game 1. Does that put Sakai's in an awkward situation where kind of momentum, trust has already
handle positioning themselves in the river. Will onic go back to some really old favorites such as the Kadita to surprise? We know when Stormy plays, when SRG plays, they like to put him a little bit more in the backside of the formation, a little bit more behind to really help support the gold laner. But how can you do that against a team that want to dive you literally with a Kadita?
I think that we talked about this. Actually, we talked about this in our second segment yesterday about the big trades, about how you should be able to dive with the right heroes. That Atlas trade has been put up onto the chopping block. They banned it out so only Beleric and Valentina are still available, but they also introduced the fact that we're also going to influence the assassins. Hirara is gone, and I think that SRG took a really big lesson yesterday after realizing that they can't just do the Ling Hirara trade without any punishment.
You got to get something, and maybe something on the other side. Somebody said the other day, sacrifice an arm to keep the body. And so maybe sacrificing some of the priority in the assassin matchup in order to get something else where you have the lead and can play around. Two teams, two different styles, one more aggressive, one more disciplined, maybe macro-driven and SRG. onic want to play freely. They've got the first pick available. I mean, the Ling is available. You also do have the Eudora, which certain teams have prioritized.
I think that as of right now, I don't know about you, the Belleric openings and Eudora openings have been kind of weak. I do think Ling's not a bad idea, but that just immediately tells SRG, hey, we got to start looking for a strong EXP laner to control that side of the map.
Yeah, you'll end up getting the Belleric Eudora most likely, and then the EXP, maybe Red 3, they pick up either the Uranus or the Barretts, whichever is open. But onic still decide to open up with the Belleric. They're willing to give up the Ling unless they're trying to signal to SRG, go ahead, pick up the Ling, we're ready for it. It will make you think.
Right.
Again, we've seen that Belleric get swapped over to XP very rarely, although most likely we are already seeing the roam pick here for onic. I wouldn't be that surprising too, because you still have some assassins on the board. Yeah, the Fanny's gone. If ever the Ling goes to SRG, you still have the Nolan that Kyrie plays with very well.
I think this is a three-step process, right? It is get the Belleric first, then pose the question to the opposite side. Do you want to show your mid laner? If you pick Valentina, then we can start choosing other mid laners that can attack your backline as well.
Right.
Things like maybe even Farsa, but this is under the assumption that that Ling is still part of the question. So we currently have 3 simultaneous equations going on, so algebra nerds, go at it.
Zushin, a great pick, usually on the ban list, and the Paquito, which is a great pick as well, because it doesn't show as many of your cards. We mentioned the hesitancy and the struggle maybe between the gold laners here on the fighter meta, but Paquito could be flexed to a gold lane. It's not a guarantee that he's not, even though it's most likely not the case, Renmar. So what does this set up for now the answer with onic?
I think you can go Barretts into EXP for onic.
Even Esme.
Esme possible too if you want to look at the matchup, but
Uranus around.
Uranus Barrett. I'm leaning a bit more towards Uranus Barretts compared to the Esme, even though Esme is the normal counter that you see now up against a Paquito in lane, and they do go for the Uranus. That constant disrupt, you still end up getting the Link for onic. I wonder if SRG are thinking about going back to Akai? No, it's going to be too slow.
I think the only scary thing is whether or not they're going to, you know, see the previous games. They saw recall playing.
That's what I was just going to say. Paquito jungle, it's possible.
It is possible, but it's not one of my favorites here because, again, it falls off. That's the big problem with when you're facing up against Ling. Ling will naturally outscale you at level 15. Paquito is great in the early to mid stages of the game, but if you don't find that snowball lead, then it becomes impossible to get past the Belleric as well as the Uranus, which again, I think that onic have taken into consideration.
Question is also the underperformance of Ling. We saw some very high skill stealing performances in our previous match. But with Uni, there's already a confidence conversation. He feels like he has it, but you can't not understand you're here in this moment. And do you want to play Ling? And also, do you want to play Paquito? Because if you're saying he's not going to trust playing Paquito right away, coming in as he's going to want something a little more safer, then you kind of expect, okay, maybe that is the EXP lane, and we can understand their draft a little more.
Well, we might be able to get a tail from SRG if ever the, let's say,
the bans.
They don't have to worry about the Esmeralda anymore. Because I'm thinking that Harith is still going to go well for them. Harith has done very well against lineups with the Ling. Once you get your power spike, even though you're in the full team fight, despite you going up against a Belleric, as long as you get away from the taunt and the Wrath of the Dryad is gone, Zaman Force gets dropped, and that even sends any Ling back away from the fight. You get the tempo with the Cho to help scale it faster. You move the Paquito away from the gold, you put that in the EXP or the surprise jungle. I could see the vision in it. It could work out.
What are they forcing mid here? I mean,
that's what I'm trying to figure out. I see the Eudora ban and it's like, but wait a minute. If we're trying to, I guess it could be a red herring. It could be saying like, you know, hey, Paquito might not go into the EXP. He might go into the jungle, but just in case, we need to show as if we are going to lock in another assassin in Red 4.
I mean, that would have been a good mid pick as well, because with the Belleric, you don't need the Valentina as much. And so maybe just saying, hey, we're going to limit your options. Now you're going to pick something that kind of would have done a better job for us in this lineup. You're a little weaker as a result of that.
This might actually be a jungle Paquito, because if you look at the Cho and the Juicing together, they're not a combo. But if you put the Paquito in the jungle, then you get the combo of the pick off and then burst it down right away. As much as you use Cho as a means to just get that little crowd control, a lot of its value really comes from the fact that you could -1 someone right away.
But that's on the assumption that you minus someone with a full damage build. And most of the time, and right now, I think they have lack of damage. They have no form of scaling. They have a great form of peel, great form of catch, but if he's building like War Axe nonsense like that and not second into Malefic Roar, I don't know. I don't see it happening.
I mean, you look at a great gold laner there and you see the this team fight, you see the in and out and the pick-off potential from Ling. I mean, onic are looking very strong, very traditional in some ways, but very hard to beat.
Oh, this is good. This is good. Mid lane bans on the side of SRG, and should be a Melissa ban for the side of onic, right?
Melissa's not been played at all today. Banned, I think, once, maybe in our first set, but surprisingly not seen very often getting. What do you think that is? Because it's not a Melissa ban either. Just not worried she's coming out.
I think because they have potential answers to it, they can maybe try and get the resources out of it in a different, seemingly a different way. Because keep in mind, if you do end up picking Melissa, I think Sans is going to go for like Yi Farsa type nonsense.
Yeah, exactly. With the Valentina banned out, you can return to the E Farsa. And if ever SRG are thinking about going back to the tanks, if they show it now, tanks in the jungle, excuse me, if they show that now, then it's an easy Eve or Farsa pickup for onic. It's really up to you which one you think will mesh better with the lineup. If it's the Melissa, Ixia, anything like that, then the lack of dive maybe is what's gonna hurt onic. We did hear last time that the Melissa pickup from Yangon Galacticos was a mispick, and they didn't mean to pick up the Melissa, but it worked out well for them. But we go back to a possibility that we posed very early in the draft, and it is still gonna be the Harith for SRG. And yeah, it made sense with the Cho getting picked up, with them showing the Paquito, Jushin in the mid, it means that the Harith will be well supported.
I'm thinking about this. Is there a possibility of Leomort here if Farsa shows? I think that as of right now, they don't mind artillery mages because they've already got a couple of answers right here. If it's Farsa, for sure, they've got the Paquito to kind of disrupt that. They've also got the Cho to disrupt
Aurora!
As well. Aurora, a very interesting option. Very good for disengages as well, on top of re-engaging with some strong AoE from the Beleric. That is a natural wombo combo.
Yeah, and that will make that Harith struggle really badly in team fights. Well, I mean, it just means that Innocent will have to really watch his timing even more.
I like this mid. One of my most played heroes in my limited experience.
It is very good.
But I lean towards having a little fun bias there on onic. The question is, do you like the Claude still? Is that enough? Claude versus Harith. Harith has been performing really well today.
Hey, it's a classic.
Yeah, it's a classic matchup. Seems like we've gone back a little bit in terms of, or we've limited a little bit the craziness of the meta that we've seen so far. And they go for the Hilda. Huh?
Interesting. Okay, so their entire lineup mainly is going to be focusing, like, utilizing this Hilda to be able to kind of, double up on certain things. But it does mean that we have confirmation that Uni is actually going into the jungle with this Paquito.
Yeah.
And now the early game is a lot harder because as much as Paquito is strong in that early game, with the added addition of Armor Shred from Hilda, they could set up some potential gank angles.
Yeah, and real quick, besides the roam mid, I'm just looking how the Uranus and the Hilda will be handling the lane and making their presence felt. Whoever has more presence will win it for the team.
Well, Paquito jungle. What a spicy way to kick things off. The one time we've seen it, it's actually won here at MSC. And of course, when you look at this battle and that trophy in the middle, both of these teams have lifted it. It's the Battle of Champions, but only one can go through. It's SRG versus onic for this third series of the day. And we've got Mirko and Trex ready to call the action. Fellas?
Thank you so much, guys. We're jumping into the land of Dawn. My name's Trex, and this is Mirko. We're going to be doing the live action on this game. We got two Titans ahead of us, Mirko. It's onic up against SRG in a tournament life match. Someone's going home. Someone's moving on to the knockout stage. Typical emblems, mostly all around. A little bit of tenacity, though, onto Stormy, just in case the defense, for the possible aggression that could come from Kyrie and the rest of the team. But the big surprise pick here, and also surprise sub that we got to see yesterday, Uni, and he's already starting things off with the Paquito jungle. What am I looking for here? I'm looking for quick aggression, right? You have the Cho, you have something that wants to play quickly around the map. You have someone that's gonna have a huge power spike on this Paquito around level 3, level 4. If they can make some off-lane play and possibly get some decent ganks, maybe onto Kelra, maybe onto Loopy, maybe an invade onto Kyrie, that could be the win condition for SRG here.
Absolutely, man. I think that's exactly what they're gonna try to play around. Cram already with the Master Assassin on the hill that goes from XP down below to try to deny Kyrie a farm. They will be able to get a camp away from Kai. On the Ling with Uni. Walking up on the Paquito, taking the Golem away. They'll still be able to get level 4 though, going up to the Lizard after the purple buff.
And killing spree as well on Uni here, right?
Yep.
So we're looking for big fights. We're looking for a lot of damage.
And it's just like, dude, I know we've been asking for this matchup, SRG onic, but to see it in the lower bracket as an elimination match instead of like a knockout stage match is just kind of sad. Just a tad bit sad.
Just a tad bit. Also a tad bit exciting.
Of course.
You know, we have to say this is also, it's unprecedented, but a lot of damage on a Loopy up on the top side.
Doesn't even pop the consecration. He didn't expect that from the Master Assassin, Cram. Big pick up at the start of the game. Frigid Glacier now on Cram, but there's no follow-up. Cram able to walk up, and now it's going to be onic zone away from the neutral objective. Kai trying to go for the retry on his own purple buff. It's going to be free neutral objective again. Uni won't even retry it. He'll just be able to pick it up. And it's a slow game now as SRG take the lead.
And that's exactly what we wanted to see from SRG to make his composition work. onic has to be able to work around that. It's going to be a little bit more time for them to get to that point to be able to fight, especially picking up the Aurora. Yes, it's going to do well against some of these frontline fighters. You have the crowd control, but it's not a fast-moving mid lane. It's not an insane playmaker. That's something you would normally see Sans on. It's a slower hero. You get a lot of value and utility out of it, but it's not going to make those quick rotations that SRG is going to be making.
Those quick rotations for SRG up top as well, really threatening Ludpi earlier. Getting the pickoff is already massive for them to get the neutral objective, but then the whole team staying up top after taking a turtle, trying to abuse the fact that Ludpi had already used the Purify was also quite big. Made him a bit low. Also pops to the consecration for some reason up top there. Don't know if anyone really threatened him or it was just a mistap. But Ludpi will still be able to match this XP lead of Cram with an XP Crab take and a shove straight up.
Cram is playing this Hilda so aggressively, rotating around essentially the secondary tank, playing it almost like a roamer would the way he's playing on the opposite side of the river. Whoa!
Great way the Dragon finds him into the knockout strike of Moody. Breath of the Dryad to respond it over. Sounds walking up as well, but now it's going to be Keyboy in the midst of it all. Caught, oh my god! Frigid Glacier comes around to peel Yums with the G-Kundo and the flicker. Sounds caught in the bad spot, doesn't have the flicker. Cram with the swings of the battle axe. Uni! A triple kill against onic.
This is huge for Uni. It's 4-0 right now. Add a purple buff on top of that. And the thing about it is, it's 4-0 in kills, and every single one of those kills has gone to this Paquito. Let's take a look at the replay. It all started with the big way of the dragon. And even though Keyboy tries to help out by popping that Wrath of Dryad, it's just not enough. The damage, this is what I was talking about. You hit that level 4, you hit that level 5. Early game spikes. We're only 4 minutes in, and that's the thing about the Paquito. No pun intended, it packs a punch, insane damage in the early game.
I mean, what is he packing in those gloves to be able to hit like that?
They're weighted gloves, man. They're weighted gloves.
Someone's got to check in, bro. Away the Dragon. Technically, they got an MMA advantage right now. Cho and Paquito, bro. With the physical defense reduction of the Cho, together with the crazy damage early on, that burst of the Paquito, no wonder they've just been deleted from the map.
You got the two best fighters in the land of Dawn on one team. Why hasn't anyone thought of this before? SRG now with a decent lead. Can they convert it into something more? They're going to move on to the spot lane. If they can start taking towers this early on, it's going to be huge for them. Maybe get the lane swap in. Once they start taking some towers, Cram can get involved. onic has to find a way to slow the pace. And Keyboy and Sans hanging out in these bushes, that's kind of what they're looking for. But Sans gets found out.
Yep, on the Aurora is going to get completely taken out by Cram now as Ludpi gets away just a bit from that Lantern Flare. Almost fully stacked up. Keyboy waited in the bush for a bit too long, now gets thrown back. Way the Dragon into Uni again! Oh, this combo is just deadly.
Sadly, I gotta say, wait a second, more action at the purple buff.
Retry from Kai, the 4 blades as well, but SRG got away just in time. Innocent as well, a level ahead of Kelra. onic are already forced to play the scaling game.
I want to go back to where Sans got picked off just now. And if those two, Keyboy and Sans, would have been in a slightly different bush, more on their side of the river to where Keyboy was in the mid bush, Sans in the bottom, everything would have been better. But instead they take the aggressive route and advance to SRG's side of the river. Even though they're behind, even though they're not in a position to be in that type of position on the map. And onic has to know what they're dealing with at 6-0. They cannot be the aggressive ones, not only in fights, but in positions on the map.
Way the Dragon into Uni, walking up. Oh, he walks away from the Wrath of the Dryad. Leaves him. for the rest of the team, just in case onic try to capitalize on the Wrath of the Dryad. And this is where the question starts to come up. Oh, Kairi missed the Defiant Blade on the wall. A bit of panic there. Cram got close. But the question again, Trex, and to everybody here, usually the Aurora is picked up with a combo, a Kaja, a Cho, someone with single target lockdown, and this time it's with a Belleric. Just feels a bit off.
Yeah, Belleric has to kind of search for it, and that means Sans has to constantly be there. And a big kick!
Sans still has a passive there. Frigilation popped in as well. Scram's gonna be frozen under turret, but man, perfectly timed knockout again. Uni in a bag. It's gonna be innocent with a pickup as well as Lutpi is gonna be slammed down to the ground. Another pickup for Innocent, a double. It's 10-1.
This is uncalled for at this point. The subbed in jungler, 5-0-4. This is his second game in MSC, and he is dominating the playing field. It's a mindset, right?
Where did Kairi's health bar go? He almost got one shot by Uni.
Where's this guy got locked in for the items right now?
Absolutely.
Where's Uni at?
I have no idea where he's at.
Start off with a Hunter Strike, typical like that. Are we all
surprised he doesn't have
Are we
Sky
into
Piercer?
third item at this point?
Dude, this guy has to be worried. Uni's doing so good. Kairi gets the orange with the red tree still. Holy moly, 5-0-4.
All right, so SRG have now converted this huge gold lead into multiple towers. Mid-tier 3 gone, top side all gone. And the way that SRG is moving amongst the map, they are just slowly compressing onic into their base. They've taken buffs. It is a tough game for onic. How do they even find a way out? And you said it. All they really have is Keyboy for the big engager. And for him to really get a surprise engage off, it has to be a flicker. Even Lutpi, this far behind, with the amount of damage that SRG has, he can't harass the way you want to on a Uranus. And in the past, Uranus could still do it at maybe 0-2, could still do it at a 6K gold deficit, but we've been seeing how much trouble Uranus has been having in the meta currently when you fall behind like this. So it's going to be a while, if ever, that onic can really come online and re-engage these fights. They're going to have to let SRG come to them and look for the counterattack.
Yep, Kai can only just red tree the purple buff. That means it's going to be free neutral objective unless onic get a pickup, but it's going to be SRG with a move. Sounds of the flicker out already. Yums! Tiku with the flicker away. The dragon straight up in the Stormy Sky Piercer. Big Purify coming down now as Kelrock is able to get the Blazing Duet down into the back line as well. Stormy melted down by the god in the gold lane. Kai with those plays picked up now as SRG are still able to get a 2-for-2 trade.
Very well done by onic though, Kelra. We fail to talk about Kelra. He's 2-0-1 right now. He's been having the gold lane experience. He's been waiting for his time to shine, and we just saw the damage come out. Innocent, though, does lock in Holy Crystal. It's going to be more damage from him as well. Let's take a quick look at the replay. I want to keep our eyes on Kelra because he knows he has to move down. Keyboy comes in a little bit late to pop that Wrath of Dryad, and right when it pops, Kelra BMIs forward, uses the Blazing Duet on the backside, and outputs the damage, matched up by Kairi's Tempest of Blades, and then able to just get away. Uni doesn't go down, no, they're not able to get the big shutdown on him, but still, they're able to kind of slow down SRG a little bit.
Gotta give props to Uni though there. It really looked very dicey, but he was able to get those stacks back up, get the damage reduction out so that it doesn't die to Kelra on the Blazing Duet. But Yums, he's had one member in his eyes. It's just Sans, dude, every time. Walks up, sees Sans, especially when he flickers, boom, Yums is on him.
All right, onic, they do have some ability to defend here, right? Retry down for the purple buff. Kairi is able to get it. That's going to be helpful in this next big push as Kelra moves forward. And SRG, I think at this point, take these tier 2s. If you get anything more, it's definitely a bonus. But with a 7K gold lead, they could try to force things open.
Oh my god. On the Uranus taking that much damage. Holy Shield procs in the end, and the charge still comes through. SRG now looking to get 2. Holy Shield's down before the 12th minute of the game. Innocent popping that damage again. The Synchro Fission doing work.
It's a scary bottleneck to come into against onic right now, even with the gold advantage.
Oh, no wonder. Look, Holy Crystal picked up already on a Harith. 11 minutes in. And he's on the way to the Divine Glaive.
It's definitely trouble for onic. but SRG respects the composition, right? You walk into that tower, you get hit by a big Frigid Glacier, you get hit by any of those big AoE skills, the possibility is there for a quick table flip, a quick turnaround by Onyx, so SRG has to play this smart. They can't brute force Onyx base open right now. 60 seconds for Lord, they just freeze lanes.
Solid for SRG. No real reason for them to push the tempo anymore. No real reason for them to take any risks. They have the lead. They can play it safe. Heck, Cram can take a beating as well, and he can get away from it. It's all good. Divine Glaive for Sans, though, and it's only his second item.
4.8 gold.
That's painful. Kelra able to spot Yums in that bush.
4.8k gold.
This is going to be big right now. Yums going to go for the cut right now. It's Kelra. He's going to get caught as well. Blaze into it. Popped in. Oh! A kick, but he's going to get canceled. That was Stormy. Dives in, picks up the kill with the Sky Piercer and the Lantern Flare. Kyrie with the Blaze. Uni jump in, and again, the Purify out for Lutpi. But Kelra has finally been taken out.
2-for-1 trade for SRG. Right in front of the base, 10 seconds before Lord. It's exactly what SRG needs. They're finding these quick moments that they know that as long as we get one more hero, we can go for this big objective. We won't have them harassing us, and Kelra was the big problem in the last fight. So they know who they needed to lock onto, and Uni hasn't missed. 6-0 in 5, and with Kelra finally down, this is going to give the advantage to Innocent in a lot of these fights. We saw the gold lead earlier. We saw how much damage he can output as well. So if Uni does start to fall off, that's going to be their next saving grace. A beautiful engage. Keyboy tries to stop it. He almost saves Kelra. He almost stops the big advance, but Kelra still gets caught off.
And this is the right side of that double-edged sword for Stormy. So many times in this tournament, he's going in, you know, even flickering forward, Crimson beaconing forward, and it just looks awkward. But that's where you find, you know, the benefits of having this crazy aggressive style on your mid lane on Stormy. When it works amazing. That shot into Kelra. This is such a good turret to take as well, man. It's going to be the far lane up there. Wait the dragon onto Lutpi, Frigid Glacier, able to lock him down just for a bit as Yums is able to flicker out of it. Frozen Innocent, no Purify burnt out. Lord going to be dealt with as well. And SRG are happy with just the base turret on the far lane.
Clock is ticking though, they're at 10k. I think one more base turret could be helpful. Kelra getting faster and faster as this moves forward. Kyrie also, even though it's an assassin jungle, it's gonna start scaling eventually. SRG has to be careful about how long they want to let this game last.
I think at this point, SRG, they should be still very, very comfortable. Yes, Onic have that scaling, but as long as SRG play around these side lanes, utilizing that advantage, there's not much Onic can do, right? Because with this kind of composition, SRG can actually still blitz around the Lord. Now, once we get into Evolve Lord territory, that's where it will get kinda dicey for SRG, because then I don't think they will have enough firepower to burst the Evolve Lord. But for now, it's still chill.
All right, so basically Onyx just needs to survive this next one, right? Survive this next push. We get into Evolved Lord territory, taking a look at items.
3 more minutes.
3 more minutes. I mean, they have 2 inhibitors left. They have 2 inhibitors left. It's going to push down the top. I'm just saying it is possible.
It is.
Kyrie, Kelra, Lutpi, all of them have been playing a good game. Anyone else in SRG might have tried to finish this a little bit earlier. Anyone else with a 10k gold lead, they might have tried to shove things in, but the respect is there, and I'm wondering almost, is it too much respect? Are they playing too passive here? Kelra now also looking at almost getting maxed out on items. Kyrie, fully stacked as well. All they really need at this point is Lutpi to catch up, Keyboy to catch up, so that you actually have a bit of a front line to survive the damage that Uni, Innocent, and Stormy are bringing.
For sure. I think the biggest gap right now has to be between the frontliners, man, because the damage dealers, as you mentioned as well, they're on the way to their full items, right? We're going to get to a point where it won't really matter. Oh, hold on, Lutpi takes a big beating. Doesn't use the Purify, though. This is a pure 50-50. Now onto it. Kyrie doesn't get it. It's going to be Uni and Innocent, I believe. Kyrie wasn't able to get his hands on it, and without a purple buff, this will just be another free neutral objective, and then it's going to build from there, Trex. SRG, they're playing a safe game because they know as long as they're able to build these small wins, get those neutral objectives, and then transition them into structures, in the end, it's going to be very, very difficult.
He saved his retry. I'm wondering if the reason why is because Kyrie wants to try to go for the steal here. Maybe. They wanted to bait out the retry so that he wouldn't have it to try to contest. onic is keeping a close play. Look at Humes right now.
Cram as well in the back. Jeet Kune Do now the way to drag him, but it goes into a different angle. In the back to Mikhail with a crown as well. He's in the top spot right now. Mackay finds Innocent in the fight. Now he goes for the damage as Oni picks up that godlike as he takes Kelra down. Both gold laners out of the fight.
This is huge for onic right now. Kyrie, and this is what I meant. They hold on to it. Yes, we don't get the purple, but as long as we can as long as we can hold things out a little bit, they do have a chance. The problem is that long lane. SRG's okay with playing it slow. SRG's okay with chilling it out. The engage comes in. Kelra gets a good chunk of damage, and Keyboy plus Kyrie on the bot side freeze Innocent, stop him, and Kyrie's able to get the kill. And in that moment, SRG knows they have to back off. They don't want to play the long fight.
You gotta give props to onic, man. They layered their skills very well. The Wrath of the Dryad baited out the Purified. Then we saw the Frigid Glacier. Not the stun, but just the damage. Right as Kyrie jumped off the Finch Poise with his own Defiant Blade to burst Innocent down. So now Innocent, he's also fallen. Both gold laners aren't deathless. The only man who's deathless right now is Uni. Bro, 7-0-5 on a Paquito.
Who would have thought? Who would have thunk? Another pick that's, you know, another crazy layer to the meta right now. Something that at first you see it, you doubt it, and SRG is making it work very well right now. But they are having some trouble closing this out. They're finding great position. Humes always in a side bush. Cram always looking for an angle as well. onic has to watch out for it.
SRG are gonna go for the commitment here. They see the Ling. It's insta commit. No way for onic to respond to this. They still want to try though. Look, Picard again. It's gonna be the taunt landing with the Shun Push right there. Uni with the red tree. Keeps it clean. Stops to the background, waiting for a Frigid Glacier. Plays down as the passive. Gonna be procced in the sky. Jumps in on Innocent. Picks up the blades. Picks it up. Waiting to try and appeal again. It's not gonna be Kyrie with the blades. Over and over again. It's Crab in the back, waiting for a position. Signs for Innocent, but SRG got the neutral objective. Kai with the chase now onto Cram. No flicker available. Kelra wants to go with the chase as Keyboy cuts him off.
He doesn't have a Wrath of Dryad.
No, he doesn't. Doesn't land a taunt either. It's not the Evolved Lord yet, so onic, I feel, get the win with a mid and a gold traded. But if SRG can stop these three members from recalling, it's going to be massive.
The pincer's here. Uni comes in. This is going to be bad for onic.
Carol, oh, watch how stormy he goes. We're trying to disperse the damage. Kyrie able to get the Defiant Blade as Cram tries to get him down. Wave up top, and the Lord is going to come crashing down, but the mini wave's actually going to spawn in time. Look, be there. Kyrie with a Tempest of Blades gets him out. Look, pay against 3 on this Uranus.
All he's got to do is keep him away from the base as onic tries to clear this Lord. All he's got to do is buy a little bit more time.
The Lord and the minions almost won SRG the game. Look, he falls in the end. No consecration, and now it's Innocent back up in the Lanadon.
onic with a Hail Mary play there, and SRG responding so cleanly, but it's not over yet. SRG still at the door. They're waiting for another wave to come down.
Oh no, Frigid Glacier, the Frozen as well. Innocent jumps over some encore, but now he's going to Kelra. Going with the lazy new one by Innocent. Takes him out.
Nice. Kyrie's trying to save it, but Uni wants to stop him. Kyrie gets the shutdown, the double, the back and forth. Neither team wanting to give this up.
We got a game in our hands. SRG versus onic. This really should have been a knockout stage game, but we find ourselves right here, right now, seeing it.
Every time you think it's going one team's way, something else happened. Uni with the immortality, then takes the shower shot by picking up the winner crown, gets the kill, but Kyrie pulls up in the nick of time. Not only is the game back and forth, but every single fight at this point is just tit for tat, punch for punch.
And now there's only one. It's just Cram who's deathless on the Hilda.
There can only be one.
There can only be one.
The wise man once said.
Mr. Cram on the Hilda. Can you imagine that? The guy's like up in front, always flanking on a master assassin.
That's the hero that should be dying the most. You know, that's the one that's like, oh, we just sacrificed the Hilda in the early game.
For sure. I mean,
not Cram though.
Not Cram.
Not me.
He's built different. 3-0 and 13.
All right. 13 is insane. We're at 20-9. onic finally with a grip on this game. It's down to tie game mode. The problem is Lord spawns on boss side long lane, looking hard for onic.
Oh, this is gonna jump in. Oh, when is he gonna burst it down? Straight up, what was that damage? Kai and Kelra together with the combo. Now it's up to Stormy. in a 4v5.
Uni needs to find an angle in before Kelra shreds this down. Kyrie as well.
They got no red tree. They gotta play it slow. Kelra jumps with the BMI over on Cram. Now it's Lutpi zoning in the backline as Cram tries to run away. BMI back again from Kelra as Lutpi tries to stop Uni from getting into this Lord Pit.
In the backside, a big kick from Humes.
Over on Santh, that was the follow-up. Humes goes down to Kelra. Kelra's playing this game. Wave up top is good. Go for the Lord. Wave, wave, wave.
Someone's gotta go back and someone's gotta stay.
Oh my God.
Because if they lose this Lord, they may not survive the day.
Kelra over the blazing duet. Stormy gets out the Crimson Beacon. That's gonna be him jumping back again with a nature from Kelra. Santh pops down the Frigid Glacier. It stuns Uni. Kai gets a shutdown. Cram's first death in game one.
And the crowd is electric right now. And we are losing our minds through this game. We're 22 and a half minutes in. It's Stormy and Innocent defending the base. A Lord will be coming soon, but onic is already at the inhibitors.
Look at the death timer, 16 seconds on Humes, 30 on Uni. Cram is down for another 40. The Evolved Lord is gonna spawn in the bottom lane. And onic want to utilize it. Innocent and Stormy. They've done this before.
They have done this before, but Kelra is shredding. onic doesn't want to show them the same respect that SRG showed them 10 minutes ago.
15 seconds now on Uni.
On the line.
They're buying good time. They're buying really good time. They actually saved this mid turret.
SRG.
They're gonna have all 5.
Yeah, they will have all 5. Does onic fully commit to this here? There's so many towers that they have to get through.
This is
the
a big
Lord will
Lord.
take a good chunk of damage.
Tier 2 up top, gonna fall down as well as Kai deals with the waves, but now it's gonna be the Evolved Lord into the bottom lane. Winter Crown bot again after using the Wind of Nature in that previous fight. Good P.
Looking for an angle in, they're able to make their way forward.
Defense. Oh, Kelra! Giving it to him, it's Keyboard, who's able to find the right to try it. Innocent falls, Uni's next, Crab and Humes cannot defend. Onic come back in game number 1.
It took 23 minutes. Multiple Lords, but onic finally pulled the game back into their hands, and that's only game number 1. Wow. What a series. What a game, I mean. Not a series, because we're just getting started right now. onic takes them the distance in that one. Pure insanity, and SRG played so well. Uni played so well. Multiple members of SRG going deathless throughout that whole game. But onic, I think, you know, I said it.
Yeah,
I said,
you
listen,
did.
If they buy too much time, I think they need to end this now. SRG being a little too passive. You've got a 10K gold lead. And they let it happen.
I think it's a mix as well, right? Like, they were playing passive when they shouldn't. They were playing aggressive when they should be the ones playing passive as well. So many of these skirmishes were a bit too unnecessary with a 10,000 gold lead, having the macro advantage on the map as well. Here as well, right? I mean, the dive over under tier 2, it made for a hell of a highlight for Uni, but it wasn't the right call. If you look at the macro decision making, why dive a tier? Why dive a base turret?
Calls were made, plays happened, and SRG takes the first loss in this best of 3. But the possibilities at this point are on us. But Kelra, it took him a little bit of time. The moment we saw that first fight where he got the big blazing duet off up in the top lane, we knew the damage was there. Once he got his Holy Trinity in, as he collected more items, he didn't even have to be passive about it. He could just jump into 3 or 4 of them and completely shred down Stormy. How we doing, Virgo?
Dude, I'm looking at that play again,
Well,
right?
say hello.
I know.
Say hello to the people.
I know. I just want to look at that play because
he's got to go back and let us know about it.
Dude, Kelra, I was just like, I don't know what that damage. I think he was fully stacked up. I think that's exactly what it is. He's fully stacked up on both Corrosion, and his Art of Thievery. So that's why it looked like insta burst. It wasn't
literally
even
just looked like it looked like he blew them up and did not shred them down.
That's why. That's why I needed to look back.
There's definite insanity. Taking a look at some of these stats. You know, we got to go back to Uni, man, because he did have an amazing start of this game. 69,000 damage dealt. But the fact that Kelra ends up doing 127,000 damage.
Oh my God.
This guy didn't touch anyone for like the first 6 minutes of the game.
Bro's 001, I think, for the first 6 minutes of the game. And then he was able to get 2 kills on Stormy. And who, I think Humes. Stormy and Humes, a double up top, right? We get to see the highlights again, and that's where you're going to see the stacks that he was able to hold on to before that blazing duet. I mean, what a game.
Hey,
I love the smiles. They're ready at this point, you know. And we saw some reactions as well from the side of SRG during the game. Uni felt comfortable, but you never get too comfortable. I think SRG got too comfortable in that game. And the pressure was on for onic, and they thrive off of those types of games.
So too.
It's not the first time we've seen them make insane comebacks like that, where all it takes is one play. And it felt like when it was needed most, Kyrie and Kelra, and even Keyboy as well, were just working so well together in those fights. You mentioned it during one of the moments where the layering of skills with everybody, from Sans getting involved as well with the Frigid Glacier. I mean, all of it, from back to back to back to back.
It was well played. It was fantastic. I mean, when you see the guys who lost and they're laughing, they're smiling,
they know
it was a good game, right? Like Uni, after a fantastic performance, you saw it right there. Uni was laughing. He's probably like, dang, it's been a while,
I'm just happy to be here, yo.
I'm just happy to be here. I came in one game, got a game against GK, said it was easy on stage, and then now it's like, I mean, he proved himself, man. He had an amazing game. He's made me an Uni believer.
Yeah, so as we take a break and take a breather and prepare for the next match, we have something for all of you. Some more confessions.
Oh, God.
From what I hear.
From who?
From your bestie.
Renmar?
Ooh.
Just kidding, bro. My bad. It's obviously nice, too.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by play.
Welcome to a new segment here for the Mid-Season Cup. My name is Chris, of course, and we are doing Confessions with Lafell.
What am I confessing to? Like, why is this called Confessions? Nice watch, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. What am I? Okay, fine. Why do you want me here?
I heard.
Okay, what did you hear?
That you're Moonton's favorite talent. Do you agree with that?
Considering I've won basically all the trophies, you know, I've won multiple Best Talent Awards. That's the Greatest Talent Award, which is basically like international, you know, from everyone, and I won that one. Plus, considering all the jokes that I've did, and I'm still not fired, yeah, it's an accusation that's hard to say no to. I love them too. You know, they're my mama and papa.
So that's it. You kind of, you know.
Hey, you know, I would blame my other talents. Why are they not loved? Is it me?
Let's gaslight them actually, instead. That's a good idea. We'll gaslight them instead.
Yeah.
That's more than fair. I heard you're a big fan of Newton. So what was your favorite Newton's law?
The law of motion. And the reason why I like it is because there was a time that we had to prepare for tomorrow's show. But I got very bored. So I spent 3 hours learning physics about how Newton's law of motion really discusses about how sound is created, which TLDR is just a bunch of particles in the air that expand and contract, and a disruption in the air creates the sound.
I don't know whether to believe you based on what I just read elsewhere. Apparently you like to come up with things that don't actually make sense. So you could be lying straight in my face.
I could be lying, but hey, considering I'm Asian, I'm probably correct.
Did you have a smooth travel here, particularly for wildcards?
Do I smooth travel?
Did you have a smooth travel here?
Well, that's a good question, Chris.
The French,
That's a very good question. So first of all, getting here was already trouble. One of my flights here, I had to fly in twice, by the way. One of my flights here, they give me a ticket 30 minutes before the flight, and my house is 1 hour away. So I had to break a lot of traffic laws just to be able to make it to the airport so that I can check in time and then we can actually go in. And then when I finally arrive, right, to the airport, out of hundreds of people from the plane, they pulled me to the side. When I say they, I mean the police. The police pulled me to the side, and then it's like, okay, I brought all of my documents, showed them, and it's like, okay, you can put them back. I'm like, okay. So what's gonna happen? And they're like, oh, we're just gonna search you. And I'm like, oh, do you do this all the time? And then he was like, oh no, this is takes out his phone, presses a few buttons,
And after 1 minute and a half, it's like, random. This is a random search. And then I had to go through all of that, and then he spilled shampoo on my shit. So I'm like, it's been fun so far. It's been fun. The police made me feel like a VIP, where there's two guys in front and 2 guys behind.
Escorting you in, yeah.
It's escorting me, essentially. Yeah, I felt very much welcome. I have a very long name, by the way.
Give me it.
Muhammad Amirul Aiman bin Muhammad Kamal.
That is quite long.
Or you can call me Lafel.
Mine is Chris Tun, and that's it.
Nice. I met a girl named Zoe. And it's like, anything more? So,
Chilling. That's it?
Z first name, O middle, and E at the end.
No way. That's
Yes,
actually
right.
kind of clean.
Yeah.
That'd be great for like talent.
She's cute.
Thank you very much, mate. That was insightful, to say the least.
Thank you for having me. You're a very good person. I have no idea who you talk to get all of the stories, but now I need to do my own confessions, finding out who gave you all of this.
It's all right. We're gonna get some people back. Don't you worry.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's my job for the rest of the week. It's all I do, actually. Thank you very much. That has been Confessions once again.
A lot of people are haunted by their past. I'm inspired by it.
They're not just playing for themselves, they're really playing for their entire family.
They have defeated their demons. They have crushed the curse.
This ain't no regular thing. Came for the ring, you know what I mean. You see my name in the lights. Better get right, I'm champion.
We were there for every click, every clutch, every respawn. We were there for the years of grind, and we're here now. The proud founding partner of EWC, powering the biggest event in gaming, shoulder to shoulder with the world's best, making history. Greatness deserves a stage. Lenovo Legion, reach your impossible.
Selangor Red Giants leads the series. It's what I would have said if onic didn't make that insane comeback in game number 1 to lead this 1-0. 1 game away from eliminating the 2024 champions and advancing into the knockouts. Welcome back to the studio panel. Renmar, Gideon here. Gideon, how are you feeling, man?
I'm feeling hot, man. How can your blood not be pumping after a game like that? When all odds looked like SRG was going to take it away because of their early pressure, somehow onic, they edge it out. Kel comes up, sets the standard once again.
Yeah, the Winter Crown plays, the Wind of Nature's just in time to survive onslaughts from Uni, especially right there in the end. But of course, Uni coming in for SRG as the starting jungler for this series definitely made a name for himself and showed up. 11 plus kills, 1 or 2 deaths, a handful of assists. You cannot doubt that this young man is ready for the stage. Let's look at what map we're going to be going to get. What we are going to get. Oh, Flying Cloud. All right, expect this to be a bloodbath. It's just going to be a lot of fights over and over again.
Yeah, and the punishes in the lane might not be as hard as we were hoping to be in the previous matchup, but at least what we have learned from the drafting side, especially if SRG is going to end up back on that red side, is probably to set up that same scenario, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, Sans didn't have the hottest of games, but at the same time, you could tell that Innocent just wasn't 100% accustomed, because how often do you see just a randomer just show up? You know, coming into the mid, dropping down the stun, and more importantly, it's a delayed stun.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that you could really see the exact moment that it went wrong for Selangor Red Giants. Yes, it wasn't just the little decisions they made leading to the fateful moment wherein it was Innocent holding the Lord and SRG trying to bait a reaction out of onic, but it was answered by onic and Kyrie on the link perfectly, jumping on the Harith, taking the Harith out, and onic playing the long fight to eventually win out game number 1. Good bans here to start it out. We've talked about so many times how the Atlas has impacted this metagame, and the Marcel getting taken out by onic, while Jushin used by SRG in game number 1 will be taken out by them on the blue side. onic continues to ban out Salinas.
I've yet to see Hirara. I've yet to see a Ling ban for either one of these teams, but I think, most things are pretty similar. Seems like Yeb has decided, the Marcel alongside with the Selena, both of which not to worry about. They've been banned and they just need to breathe. But from SRG's side, I wonder what the opener is going to look like, because I would assume that if Hirara shows, they're going to take it. So what would be then the same response from onic? Is it still going to be like, hey, we don't mind Hirara into the Ling, or do they want to affect it right off the get-go?
If Freya's open, one of them has to pick up the Freya for sure. Honestly, I might be a little bit more in the boat that if ever it's available for SRG and you... Honestly, I feel like I don't even need to worry about the Phoveus because you can slot that into the gold. Just pick up the Freya as the first pick.
Yeah, and they also have to worry about that Fanny too. So luckily, the Fanny is gone. It's all up for play. Beleric Valentina is still in play, not to mention the Ling as well as the Hirara at this stage of the game. And I think that onic needs to make that final choice. It's either they open up the entire thing or they just answer to the Freya, which again has been very terrifying, especially when let through.
Let's say if both assassins, top ones, and the meta will be left open by Coach CW and Coach Yeb, Ling and Hirara, will it be one of those, or will they ban out the Freya and just keep it honest with the Ling-Hirara trade? Last ban, red side for onic, taking their sweet time. They ban out the Freya, Ling and Hirara is the active trade.
No, and SRG, based on the information that we got yesterday, they like to go for the Hirara here most of the time. And considering that they were playing an early game composition in game number 1, I don't mind them if they do it all over again.
Yeah, could work out very well for them. I think if they want to run back wherein Innocent isn't going to be packing someone with basic attacks and they want... Well, I mean, Harith isn't as the non-traditional marksman, if we're looking at like basic attack marksman, then just pick up the Ling. But they did get their win in their previous series against GK with Uni on the Hirara, and it was a very good Hirara performance. They go for the Hirara. I wouldn't be surprised if once again we'll see Cho getting fought for in the first phase of this drafting.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised too, but at this stage now, at least we know exactly where the jungler is going to be. In game number 1, the big question was where exactly were the 2 flex picks, one on either side. We weren't 100% where it was going. And SRG was utilizing those flex picks as a mean to start affecting some of the other laners, right? And they're even using the the draft bans to also indicate, yeah, we're going to be attacking you on this side. But the response, straight away, surprisingly enough, they go for Nolan.
Yeah, so that was a hero that we mentioned earlier, but that's if ever the Ling and the Hirara are taken away. So this was like, it's onic trying out, all right, instead of focusing too much on the Ling-Hirara trade, why don't we bring up the third option that people and other junglers in MSC have been bringing up in interviews, in quotes? They are honest and pick up the Nolan.
And I think there's a couple of interactions that will be shown here today. Number 1, at least comparative to Ling. Ling is able to get across the map really, really fast, make that huge impact, and has iframes. Nolan may not have iframes, but he has a much better early game. He's got a lot more damage to work with, just as much mobility as Hirara, arguably with purple buff more. And most importantly, I think it's going to be a difficult 1v1 because Hirara's going to try and lock you down. He's able to dash back out.
Yeah, but now we look at SRG. They pick up the Barretts. Obviously going to be going to the EXP lane for this one, so that's an honest pickup. Wouldn't be surprised if onic just balance it out and pick up the Uranus themselves. There we go. And then for the gold lane, that's what they're going to be fighting for. Now, you already have strong burst. I think some great sources of basic attacks from onic would be good. If SRG don't ban out the carry, would it be the worst pickup in the world for Kelra? But if they really want to play through the AoE and knowing that technically this is going to be somewhat of a front to back, knowing that you have a Barretts that you're up against, maybe his good old favorite in the Beatrix might make a show up. I don't know why I said it like that.
I think that it's not a bad idea, especially if that Beleric is going to be able to, pick up a Flicker for himself instead of a Revitalize. That does give him a lot less pressure in the early stages of the game to kind of walk up and do whatever he wants, especially when you're up against someone like Eudora who can just naturally poke out these tanks in the earlier stages of the game. But coming into the second half, right, the Cho ban, as expected, we were at least expecting one of these teams to affect it, and now SRG side, they got to make the same answers. Are they going to start leaning into, hey, we don't want you to play double fighters, or we're going to target Sands again?
Sands pickups, with the Juicing gone, he can't Valentina, and yeah, the Valentina might not be the best bet here.
they don't have many good ultimates to kind of work with.
Will they just end up getting sounds on something like a Lilia?
Ooh, that doesn't sound like a bad idea, but we're already seeing that Rafa is going to get banned out early on here. One of the key conditions is the fact that Flying Clouds is the current map play. So you can revive somebody, put them on a Flying Cloud, and they lose 0 EXP in the mid lane.
Oh, this is a great ban here. Keyboy did show up with the Badang. We've seen it also in the hands of Finn in Team Vitality. Can't remember if Yumes picked it up. But it is a great pickup with all of the dashes that you have here. Momentum stopper with onic looking to play a much smoother team fight. And it is just very annoying to deal with, especially if you're up against a Barrett. That extra wall brought up by the Badang could be another extra obstacle wherein the missiles of the Barretts could knock in their opponents, and then that's just an extra way for you to get easier stuns.
I mean, let's not forget about the anti-CC and that ult, right? That's just a great way to just kind of disengage when Belleric tries to make a flickered Wrath of the Dryad play on you anyways. I do want to see what this last ban is from the side of SRG. Lo Yi is going to be the option. So Lilia, technically, low health pool. The Eudora does a pretty good job against it. Going for an artillery mage may not necessarily be that great, but Harith is going to be the red 4 pick for Onyx side. And I like the fact that they're denying it.
I think they're going to end up picking up a Vexana. Remember, we saw the Vexana as an answer to a lineup that has a Barrett. Going up against a Eudora, they have the range. It's strong disengage, crowd control. It would set up theoretically for the Nolan and the Harith. Might be a mid lane Vexana.
It's not a bad idea. I think the real question right now is who is going to be the concussive blast user for SRG, because that mid wave, if assuming Vexana is going to be that very last pick, that's going to be like an impossible to contest for. It's just instant clear and you're just dancing around it for 2 or 3 seconds.
Yeah, Gatakacha and Hylos both want to pack up their Revitalize, seeing that they're up against the Belleric.
Ooh, actually the Hylos doesn't sound that bad. Now that Harith is already available, that glorious pathway just to slow him down from actually retreating. It's not a bad idea.
But the Belleric and the, the Barretts and the Hylos. Oh, Kufra. Ooh. Another unique pick. But Vexana will mess that up if ever it is one.
Let's see if they actually go for it, right? Because doesn't mean it's the end of the world. There's not a lot of people who could disrupt people like Yves, for an example.
True. Yves still might be.
They still go into the Lily. That's so interesting. Yeah. I think at the end of the day, they still want to make sure that, hey, we don't have to stick around the lane for too long. I am curious about specifically whether or not this Belleric, what are the emblems? Is it going to be Ragefly? Is it going to be Concussive Blast? That's going to tell us a lot about how this game is going to be played out, especially in the mid, considering that Stormy, he wants to move out of that lane fast with Yumes to ensure that Kyrie can't find an angle in for a lane gank.
SRG needed range, and they got it from surprise initiation through their Kufra, but they are very close to mid-range. While for Selangor Red Giants, close to mid-range too. Honest with it. Good sources of damage for both, and this should be exciting. Will SRG force game number 3, or will onic sweep them here to advance to the knockouts? Mirko and Trex, let's go!
We're jumping back in to one of the most grueling series we've seen so far. onic up against SRG. onic came back last game, late game. They had zero control in the beginning, but were able to still get the win, and SRG continue to evolve and grow. They're willing to risk it with some different picks. This is something they lacked in the beginning of the tournament, and we're already seeing how much more they're adapting to current meta.
Hey, that's a sprint on Stormy. That's something new, that's for sure. Pull yourself together, though, for Yumes, Master Assassin, for Innocent, just trying to win out this lane. But yeah, sprint over Flicker for the first time on the Eudora.
I wonder... I mean, it had to be... Whoa, a lot of damage on the Keyboy.
Toe the fracture, not even there, it's just a passive Kai. Jumps in, picks up the kill, Yume's gonna be very low. onic strike first this time around, and they instantly go into enemy jungle.
Beautiful rotation from Luffy and Kyrie coming to that mid lane. Yumes is gonna try to stop it, but he may get taken out here.
Yeah, Kyrie is able to take it, now he jumps on Yumes. There's a few more hits to take another. He's on the board, now it's 2.
This is one of the good things about the Nolan up against this Aurora. He's gonna be able to dash away. He's got the escapability. He's not, even if he commits to a big amount of damage, he instantly dashes back, and it's gonna make it a little bit harder for Uni to catch him in some of those dicey moments. Yumes maybe going a little too deep. Maybe should have just let them have that one, because now that Kyrie's got 2 kills already on a Nolan, it is a picture-perfect start for onic.
Can't get better than this, right? Especially after last game where it was SRG who dominated the first 14 minutes of the game, right? Like, entirely early game, it was just SRG. Kelra this time feeling the wrath of Innocent in a winning matchup.
All right, so SRG, do they want to contest this? Again, they do have the Harara, one of the highest prioed heroes in the meta right now.
They're gonna go in on Cram. He's gonna get bursted down. Sans picks him up. Lutpi is able to walk Yums down. Keyboy doing the same thing now over to the purple buff. Uni still just level 3. It's like deja vu to game 1, but it's reversed. It's onic with the control. 2 kills at the start. Neutral objective without even using the retribution.
Uni using the retribution on his own purple, just like Kyrie was doing last game. It is a mirror match for sure. Can SRG pull off what onic did though? You know, it seems like SRG's a little bit disconnected. Yums first goes in by himself to his own death. This time Cram maybe goes a little bit too deep while Uni's still looking for his purple. The full commit's not there, and 1 or 2 of them are going in and getting caught off. And I think they have to realize that maybe it's not the time, or if we are going to commit, everyone has to be together.
Slow for onic after this lead, just taking a purple buff, and only now really making that aggressive move. Double immobilization onto Lutpi, but he doesn't care. Keyboy got a position, flicker after the triad! Connects on Innocent, he wasn't expecting it. Now an all-in on Yums, under tier 2, a flicker burnt out already.
And Uni has to just watch as it happens. They didn't even want the orange buff.
Nope.
We're not even going for this orange buff. We're gonna lay a trap, we're gonna get another kill. We're gonna put Kyrie at 3-0-1 and Sans at 1-0-2. Let's get these damage dealers rolling. At this point, Uni's just sitting back and watching. He's trying to farm his own jungle. He's trying, I mean, everyone's just trying not to die at this point, let alone catch a lead.
That was one of SRG's fallback plans, right? It's Innocent. If you lose an early game, you can just play around Innocent. The rest of the composition, though, is made for early to mid. Sans has to use the black shoes there. Good move by Cram with the rotation, catching him off guard. But now it's going to take a little bit more to get that plan B sorted out. They're going to have to constantly rotate with Innocent now.
Yeah, look at them, literally hovering around him right now. Stormy and Yums keeping him safe, but possible play in the mid. Onyx going to be pushing SRG back. I don't know if this is a turtle they want to fight for.
2-level advantage on the retribution for Kyrie. Golem gets reset. Uni still able to secure it. Now looking for level 7. Kai on the purple buff though. This should set him very close to level 9.
I'm going to be honest, I don't even know if Cram should be down here at this point. Is this really a fight that they want to take? Innocent, slightly behind, nothing too crazy. Does hit level 7.
Oh.
Taking a lot of damage.
That's why they went for the Lilia, man. Baraz is just going to get shredded down. Has to flicker outlet. He has the consecration still. Free retry now as Yums is able to find the talent rage on Keyboy, but he doesn't care as Kelra pops into Zaman Force. Lutpi with the consecration gets away. That is nothing to Lutpi.
And this is what I mean, right? They expend so much time on that turtle. They maybe could have got a push on top tier 3. They maybe could have, you know, if Cram would have stayed up there, if someone else would have gone up there, they could have rotated elsewhere and at least made play up on the map. But instead, they spend so much energy on a turtle they never had a chance to get.
So now it's the build back up for SRG. They send Innocent to the other side of the map, trying to get him farm. It's all they can do right now. And Uni, like you said, they went in for the skirmish earlier. And against a Nolan, if you lose out there, Nolan's going to be able to rotate around the map much faster than you. So what that means is he's going to take your green camps away. That's why we see such a big lead. 3 whole levels for Kyrie on the Nolan. And again, he goes bot. When the purple buff is up, he knows where Uni is. He's constantly stealing these camps away. And it's going to get really tough for SRG because they have to feed 2. Uni and Innocent.
Yeah. It's a lot of mouths to feed when everything's being taken from you. onic already at a 4,000 gold lead. A lot of damage on a Loopy though. They're going to go under the tower.
Yep. Again with the black shoes, just reacting to the Tyrant's Rage. The taunt lands on Yums, and that's the damage of the Glooms. Kelra picking up a turret for free as onic zone SRG away from that tier. Oh God, it's Kai even waiting in these bushes. Again, no chance, no space for Innocent to farm.
I mean,
look at the bush.
It's been the same for Uni too. He's unable, he's barely able to move around. Early on, getting pushed in on multiple jungle points, and Keyboy's been loving just hanging out in these bushes, waiting for the next target to come along.
He is the bush.
He is the bush. Keybush.
He's a tree. Conceal from Keyboy. Look at the play again. Ow. Big chomp down now. He goes in the flicker as well, but it's only Keyboy Surge first crab down. They're able to get Keyboy, but now it's going to be Kaura with the Zaman Force, popping him down. That's Uni in the back, going for the kill, finding one, and the trade as Kai walks up, but Uni finally, a bit of retaliation. Jumps on again, the Purify out, but now he's going to be on cooldown as Lutpi looks for the chase and finds the kill onto Uni.
I don't know if taking the death at the end of that was worth it. Finding Kelra at least is a saving grace. But the damage onto Cram, the burst damage of this team right now, with Kyrie being at 4-0 and 3. I mean, it's true. It is very reminiscent of how SRG was doing onic last game. But the problem is, I don't think Onyx is going to give him time to breathe. I don't think Ooh, Innocent in a bad spot.
He's going to have to flicker out of this, man. There's no way. He might not even flicker. He might just take it. Keyboy with a flicker and the Rapid to try it. Innocent fed to Kelra. Again, not given space to farm. Yums, body block from the rest. They feed another over to Kelra.
Sometimes you got to just take it, Mirko. Sometimes you got to just accept your fate. Innocent knows there's no escape there. onic moving on to the tier 2.
onic has never won against Selangor Red Giants.
SRG on the defense. Can onic pull this off here? After a grueling game 1 of pushing the limits, it just goes to show onic University right now. We can play the long haul. We can dominate in the early game. Just give us the chance right now. What can SRG do? Having the carry just makes this all so much harder too. And the fact we called it out at the beginning, taking a death early on, and now you've got 2 deaths, being unable to farm. It is a long haul. The thing is it feels like it's been 12 or 13 minutes. It feels like they could get to late game in just a few minutes, but we are just breaking 9 minutes. We're talking, it could be another 5 or 6 minutes till Innocent even has a chance of really outputting damage, till Cram can actually hold down the front line. onic didn't really have the game in their hands until 18 or 19. That's a long way away.
Can SRG do what onic did to them in game number 1? Those are the questions that we need to ask right now. With this kind of composition, it's going to be difficult. They don't have the clear. Holy Shield already down, up top again. Now down below, Lutpi ushers those minion waves in to deal with the Holy Shield. Takes a bit of a beating, but it's all for the orange buff to be taken by Kai, who's 5 levels ahead. Use with the rage, but it's going to be responded over by Sons of the Black Shoes. Now it's a taunt, lands on Cram, and again it's Kelra. Oh, a big chop down thrown again, but he has to purify. Cram low, has to flicker back. And that's 2 big flickers as Kai secures the Lord.
They do bide some time though, clearing out the waves, but another wave is coming soon. But SRG doesn't have the greatest comp to defend. Yes, they have the carry to Shred, who has gotten in the Trinity, but still 1.5k gold behind. Taking a look at the jungle, it is a 4.1k gold lead. Uni just got his second item in, just got War Axe in.
The last time they met at a major international, it was SRG who knocked onic out of Group B in MSC 2024 with a 1-1 draw.
Well, revenge is here. It's in onyc's grasp. All they got to do is close this out. And last time SRG was a little bit too patient. onic is ready to kick in these doors. And whoa, yeah. What? Was it a flex or what is it, a misplay?
We'll see with the result of the game. Comes down to that. Depthulus Welcome coming out onto the Uranus now with no winner crown, no problem. Silence deals with him. Wave in the mid lane is good. onic gonna look for the slow build up into the siege right now as they go over the top lane. Lutpi holding in the front. It's gonna be Kai with the dash in forward as Kelra jumps in again. The fracture lands on Yums. Lord cleared out. Black Shoes comes down. Uni goes down. Keyboy with a rapid drive to the back lane. It's now gonna be Innocent with a pickup. onic! Clean sweep. Selangor Red Giants to make it a top 8.
And they don't just win it, they earn it. After game 1, pushing themselves to the limits, and then to prove they can finish things in style, they win game number 2 in a very quick fashion. You can see the smiles on their faces. Kelra, Keyboy, happy about it because both of those teams were tested in this group stage. Almost every team in group stage had some rocky games. Nobody was a guarantee. Everything was earned. And onic will move forward.
They will. Top 8. Selangor Red Giants. They will unfortunately be the ones eliminated. The key crushed today as well. The revenge was very late. The revenge. 2024 was when it happened, when SRG knocked onic out of groups. It took them 2 whole years to regroup, to relearn, to improve. And fate had it with this matchup. SRG dropped down early by Pro. onic dropped down late by Aurora Gaming. Into the last chance for both these teams. It looked good for SRG at the start of game 1. They couldn't close it out. It looked great for onic at the start of game 2. They went for the throat.
Yeah, they weren't wasting any time. They knew that they had the advantage. They didn't want to make the same mistakes that SRG made, and they were able to pull through. But with that game over, let's send it back to the stage. Rose, who we got up there?
What a series, honestly, guys. This is a matchup that we didn't see coming. Closing the group stages, we expected something like this in the